All right, I need to show y'all something. So our team spent 3 weeks, 3 actual weeks, going through cost of living data zip code by zip code across every major metro in the United States. We cross-referenced median home prices, grocery costs, utility bills, property taxes, entertainment, dining, healthcare, all of it. And we built one question. Where in America does a $100,000 salary still make you feel genuinely, undeniably wealthy? Not comfortable, not fine, wealthy. And we found 5 cities. Now, before you think this is going to be some list of sad little towns in the middle of nowhere where there's nothing to do and nowhere to eat, stop. These are legit cities, good food scenes, strong job markets, real culture, places where you could actually see yourself living. But here's the part that got me. In 4 out of 5 of these cities, a $100,000 salary puts you in the top 20% of earners. And in one of them, the one I'm saving for last, it puts you in the top 10%. With that kind of purchasing power, we're talking about fully owning a 4-bedroom home, maxing out your retirement accounts, taking 2 or 3 vacations a year, and still having money left over every single month. In America, in 2026. That's not a fantasy, that's just knowing where to look. I'm Franklin. Welcome back to Finance with Franklin, and today we're handing you the map. Oh, and if you watched our last 2 videos breaking down the Florida trap and the Texas trap, first of all, y'all are the real ones. The comments on those videos were fire. Second, this video is the other side of that coin. We spent 2 weeks telling you where not to go. Today, we're telling you exactly where to go. Let's get into it. Before we get to the good stuff, I need to make sure we're all on the same page about something, because a lot of people hear $100,000 salary and think they've made it. And in some cities, that number barely gets you off the ground. In San Francisco, $100,000 a year leaves you with about $5,200 a month after federal taxes, state taxes, and Social Security. A 1-bedroom apartment near the city averages $3,000 a month. That's 58% of your take-home on a 1-bedroom. New York City, nearly identical story. Boston, same. Seattle, getting there. MIT, yes, the actual MIT, publishes a living wage calculator, and in Los Angeles County, the living wage for a single adult with no kids is over $53,000 a year. That's the bare minimum to not be in financial stress, and $100K is only $47K above that floor. When half of your income above survival is gone to rent, you're not wealthy, you're just less broke than your neighbors. The 5 cities we found, that green bar isn't a trick. It's what $100K actually looks like when the cost of living works for you instead of against you. All right, let's start uncovering the map. City number 1 might actually surprise you.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. I already know what half of you just said. Franklin, Oklahoma? Hold that thought, because I'm about to change your mind. Tulsa has a median home price of around $199,000. That's not a typo. The national median right now is $420,000. You can buy a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house in a solid Tulsa neighborhood for $220,000. That's a mortgage payment under $1,400 a month. On a $100K salary, after federal taxes, you're taking home around $6,500 to $6,800 a month. Your mortgage is $1,400. That's 21% of your take-home. Financial advisors say keep housing under 28% of gross income. In Tulsa, you're at 16%. You're not just meeting the benchmark, you're lapping it. But here's the part that most people skip over when they think about Tulsa. The city has genuinely invested in itself. The Gathering Place, a 100-acre park on the Arkansas River that Travel and Leisure ranked as one of the best parks in America, cost $465 million to build, and it's completely free to the public. The food scene is legit. The Arts District is thriving, and Tulsa Remote, a program that paid people $10,000 to move there, brought in thousands of remote workers who've elevated the whole vibe of the city. This isn't the Tulsa your grandparents knew. This is a city that's been quietly leveling up. And if you got in now on a 100K income, you're not just living well, you're building actual generational wealth. Because when a city is on the way up, the people who bought in early win the biggest. All right, City 2 is a southern city that always gets overshadowed by its flashier neighbors, and that's exactly why it still has room for you.
Memphis, Tennessee, home of the blues, birthplace of rock and roll, and quietly one of the most financially underrated cities in the entire country. Let me give you the numbers first, then we'll talk about why this place is actually kind of incredible to live in. Median home price in Memphis, around $175,000. You heard me, $175K. On a $100K salary, you could realistically pay off your house in 12 to 15 years without living like a monk. Tennessee has no state income tax on wages. We talked about the Texas version of this and how the tax savings get eaten up in other ways. Memphis is different because the overall cost structure is low enough that the no income tax benefit actually stays in your pocket. On a $100K in Memphis, here's a real monthly budget. Mortgage on a 3-bed house, $1,100. Utilities, $160. Groceries, $380. Car payment and insurance, $520. Dining, entertainment, life, $600. Total outflow, around $2,760 a month. Take home after federal taxes in Tennessee, roughly $6,500. That leaves you $3,740 a month, every month, to save, invest, travel, or flex. In Memphis, where a nice dinner for two runs you $45 and a full day at Graceland, yeah, Elvis's house, costs less than a round of drinks in Manhattan. Real talk, though, Memphis does have challenges. The crime stats are real, and you should research specific neighborhoods before committing. East Memphis, Germantown, Collierville, those are the areas where your money and your peace of mind both hold up strong. But if you're a remote worker, an entrepreneur, or someone in healthcare, logistics, or education, Memphis has jobs, has infrastructure, and has a cost of living so low that your 100K income works like 180K anywhere else. City 3 is about to flip the script entirely, because number 3 is not a small city. It's actually one of the biggest metros in the country, and most people just don't realize it qualifies for this list. Hold up, before City 3, I need you to drop something in the comments. Which of these two cities surprises you more, Tulsa or Memphis? Tell me, because the comment section on our Texas video was absolutely going off, and I want to keep that energy going. Drop it below. I read every single one.
San Antonio, Texas. 1.5 million people in the city proper, 2.6 million in the metro. This is a major American city, and yet median home price sits around $265,000, which compared to Dallas at $380K and Austin at $520K is practically giving homes away. Now look, I know what some of you are thinking. Franklin, didn't you just spend a whole video roasting Texas? Yeah, I did, and I stand by it. The Texas trap is real, and if you haven't watched that video, go check it out after this. But here's the nuance. The Texas trap hits hardest in Travis County, that's Austin, and in the Dallas suburbs, where property taxes are absolutely brutal. Bexar County, where San Antonio sits, property tax rates are still real, but home prices are low enough that your actual dollar amount owed is manageable. The math still works. And San Antonio punches way above its weight for lifestyle. The Riverwalk, the Pearl District, one of the coolest food and market neighborhoods in the South. A tech and military economy that keeps unemployment low and jobs steady. Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, the San Antonio Spurs, and a food scene that is genuinely world-class if you know where to eat. On $100K in San Antonio, after taxes, you're clearing around $6,500 a month. Mortgage on a solid 3-bed in a good school district, $1,700. That's 26% of take-home. still under the 28% benchmark. With a home twice the size you'd get in Austin for the same payment. San Antonio is what Austin was trying to be before it became the poster child for tech bro inflation. And speaking of things that blew up in price, City 4 used to be on everyone's avoid list. Now it might be the sleeper pick of the entire video.
Okay. Before the Florida people come for me in the comments, yes, I know, we literally just did a whole video on why people are leaving Florida. And now I'm putting a Florida city on the list. But this is exactly the kind of nuance that Finance with Franklin is built for, because Florida is not one single story, and Jacksonville proves it. Here's what makes Jacksonville different from every coastal Florida market we warned you about. It sits in Duval County in Northeast Florida, significantly lower flood risk than Miami, Tampa, or Fort Lauderdale. Insurance premiums, while still elevated, are measurably lower than South Florida. And the city itself is actually the largest city by land area in the contiguous United States. It is enormous, which means the price variation within the city is huge. The right neighborhoods in Jacksonville give you Florida's best benefits with way less of the financial baggage. Median home price in Jacksonville, around $295,000. That's $125,000 less than the Tampa median and $325,000 less than Miami. No state income tax. That benefit is real here because the cost structure supports it. The job market is genuinely strong. Healthcare, finance, logistics, and a growing tech presence. And Jacksonville is on the St. Johns River with 22 miles of Atlantic coastline. On $100K here, your housing costs stay under 27% of take-home. You're living on the water or close to it. You're in a no-income tax state. And your insurance premiums, while real, are not the $15,000 nightmare we talked about on the coast. If you watched our Florida video and thought, I love the idea of Florida, but not those costs, Jacksonville is your answer. It's Florida, just the version that doesn't try to financially ruin you. All right, we're at City 5, and I told you at the top, this is the one where $100K doesn't just feel good, it feels like generational money. And it's the city that surprised our whole team the most when we ran the final numbers. Actually, before I reveal City 5, I need you to do something. If this video has been useful so far, if you've genuinely learned something or reconsidered a city you'd written off, hit that like button right now. It takes literally 2 seconds, and it helps this channel get this research in front of more people who need it. Okay, City 5, let's go. Knoxville, Tennessee. Here's why this one stopped us cold when we saw the full numbers. Knoxville has a median home price of around $290,000 and a median household income, not individual, household, of about $55,000. So a single person earning $100,000 in Knoxville, you are not just comfortable, you are by every local economic measure genuinely wealthy. Top 12% of earners in the entire city on a single income with no state income tax on wages. Let me paint the picture. You buy a 4-bedroom house with a mountain view for $310,000. Mortgage around $1,950 a month. That's 30% of take-home, slightly above the benchmark, but here's the thing. Your $1,950 mortgage in Knoxville buys you twice the house, literally twice the square footage of a $1,950 mortgage in most major metros. And the rest of your cost of living? Groceries run about 12% below the national average. Utilities below average. And yes, East Tennessee summers are hot, but not Houston hot. Dining out, a great dinner for two is $50 to $65. Healthcare costs consistently in the bottom third of major metros nationally. But here's the thing about Knoxville that I think is genuinely underrated. This city is surrounded by the Great Smoky Mountains. The most visited national park in America is 45 minutes from downtown. Hiking, kayaking, skiing in winter, free or near free outdoor recreation year-round on your doorstep.
The University of Tennessee anchors a young, educated, growing population. The food scene has quietly become one of the best in the Southeast. The Market Square area downtown is legitimately vibrant. And the kicker, Knoxville's home values have been appreciating steadily, around 6 to 8% annually over the last 5 years, without the kind of explosive bubble that made Austin and Miami financially dangerous. Steady growth, affordable entry, mountain views, your money working for you. In Knoxville, $100K doesn't just feel like wealth, it is wealth by every local measure. That's why it's #1 on our list. All right, real quick, here's how I'd rank these 5 if I had to. Number 5, Memphis. Incredible value. Research your neighborhoods carefully. Number 4, Tulsa, the most underrated city on this entire list, seriously. Number 3, Jacksonville, Florida's best-kept financial secret. Number 2, San Antonio, big city life at mid-sized city prices. Number 1, Knoxville, the whole package, mountains, lifestyle, and your money actually grows. Now, I gotta keep it real with you because that's what this channel is about. Every one of these cities has a flip side. Memphis has crime considerations in certain areas. Tulsa and Knoxville have limited direct flight options. If you travel a lot for work, that matters. Jacksonville is still in Florida, which means insurance is still a real line item. And San Antonio's summers are genuinely brutal. July and August will test your relationship with the outdoors. These aren't deal breakers, but they're real. Do your homework, visit before you commit, talk to people who already live there. The goal isn't to sell you on a city. The goal is to make sure you have the full picture, not just the marketing brochure version. That's the Finance with Franklin promise.
Okay, I need to hear from y'all on 3 things. 1, do you live in any of these 5 cities right now? Tell me your city and whether the numbers I gave actually match your real life. I build these breakdowns using public data. Your on-the-ground reality is what makes this research better. 2, is there a city you think should be on this list that I completely slept on? I'm already building the follow-up video, 5 more cities where 100K hits different, and the community picks are going in. Drop your city below. 3, do you know someone who's been grinding away in an expensive city feeling like they're never getting ahead? Forward them this video, not as a dig, as a gift. Sometimes all it takes is someone showing you the map. Be that person.
Here's what I want you to take from today. Wealth isn't just about how much you make. It's about the gap between what you make and what it costs to live your life. $100,000 a year in San Francisco leaves you stressed, stretched, and one emergency away from trouble. $100,000 a year in Knoxville, Tennessee, you're maxing your 401k, paying down a mortgage on a 4-bedroom house with mountain views, and still going out to dinner on Friday night without checking your account first. Same income, completely different life. That gap, that's what Finance with Franklin is here to find for you, every single week. We covered Florida 2 weeks ago, Texas last week. Today, we gave you the map of where your money actually works. Next week, we're going deeper. We're looking at Gen Z, why Gen Z is fleeing to the Rust Belt. The Midwest is becoming the new Silicon Valley, and the math is undeniable. If you're not subscribed yet, and you've made it this far into the video, what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe. It's free, and every week I drop research that would cost you serious money if you had to pay a financial advisor for it. Franklin, out.